The abolitionist John Brown and his 5 sons, along with 3 associates, butchered 5 pro-slavery men along the Potawatomi Creek in Kansas Territory on May 24, 1856. A few years later, he attacked Harper's Ferry in Virginia, where 16 men were killed, including 10 of his own. He was captured and hung December 2, 1859, at Charlestown. He wrote a letter of his last words. I, John Brown, am now quite certain that the crimes of this guilty land will never be purged away but with blood. I had vainly flattered myself that without very much bloodshed it might be done.
I am an abolitionist, I glory in the name, though now by slavery's minions hissed and covered o'er with shame.
In 1855, Hickok joined the anti-Free State Army and was a personal bodyguard for General James H. Lane, who was in command of the Jayhawkers and Redlegs. William Quantrell was a school teacher in Lawrence, Kansas. First, he was a supporter for the anti-slavery movement, but somehow changed his mind and started a guerrilla militia. He fought for the Confederates during the war. On August 21, 1863, he raided and burned down Lawrence, Kansas. 160 men and boys were killed. Frank and Jesse James rode with Quantrell, along with Bloody Bill Anderson, who formed his own band of renegades called Bushwhackers. They looted, stole horses, and butchered their victims. They wore the scalps of those they killed on their horses. In 1864, Bloody Bill captured and robbed a Union train. They killed 22 unarmed Union soldiers that were on furlough. To some, Bloody Bill was a hero during the war between Missouri and Kansas, known as Bleeding Kansas, while those who feared him say to ride with Bloody Bill is riding with the devil, the terror of Missouri. Bloody Bill was killed on October 24, 1864. This may be the reason why, after the war, so many turned to be outlaws, bounty hunters, and lawmen.
In the spring of '64, our regiment was in the neighborhood of Petersburg. And while we were camped just north of Petersburg, General Grant began his invasion of that part of Virginia. We heard about it, and I remember very distinctly, one morning we heard that General Lee had crossed the James up north and was coming down the Turnpike Road in the direction of Petersburg, just near us. My regiment was moved up north of Virginia, of Richmond, north of Richmond, and thus we guarded that city for several months while General Lee and General Grant were struggling there near Petersburg. We were around Richmond, my regiment was, all the time then, doing little of nothing, while that war was still going on. And after a while, a Saturday evening, the first day of April, 1865.
Passing through New Mexico, on my way to El Paso. Texas was the last thing on my mind. In the town of Santa Fe, on a cold and rainy day, I thought about the girl I left behind. A wanted man, dead or alive, do what I know to survive, and I don't need a woman to tag along. fire sparkled in the morning sun. I never knew she was the one, a woman to dig this long man down. Wanted man dead or alive, oh, I do what I know to survive, and I don't need a woman to drag me down. I live by the gun.
General, sir.
Yeah, Sergeant.
Them damn Yankees have surrounded us at Jackson Farm.
Son of a bitch! I knew it. I knew it. It turns out that Barnes is not Barnes at all. It's a Yankee spy, James Butler Hickok. I want you to find this Hickok, and I want you to shoot him on sight like the dirty dog he is.
Yes, sir.
Dismissed.
Sergeant, what does the half flag mean? His face fell. He says President Lincoln was shot last night. Well, the feeling, the variety of feeling that came over us 20,000 men in just that one. Of course, there were several other prisoners, as you know. But as for me, and a boy, just 19, I didn't know what to think.